Let's explore how to work with and handle missing data using Pandas. Of course, you will definitely come across missing data whenever you are working on data analysis or simply data wrangling. In Python, the original way of representing missing data is using the none character. But the problem with none is it can be used to represent anything that is missing, not just data. So to represent missing data, the most popular means of representing missing is np.na. This is provided by the NumPy package. Now, more recently, Pandas has introduced pd.na as well as pd.nat. Here, np.nan means not a number, nan for not a number, whereas na is just any missing value, nat is not a time. So, this is specific to time data. Now, one thing you should be very careful when working with missing data is you should never do any sort of direct comparison with missing data. That is, you should never use this double equal to sign. You should never use this double equal to sign whenever you are comparing missing data. Now, these are the different representations. np.nan gives just nan, na surrounded by these greater than and lesser than sign. This is pd.na and pd.nat is not a time, right? This is the representation. Now, if you do a comparison of nan against nan using this double equal to sign, it is going to give you false. Something similar happens when you try to do pd.na as well. This gives you na, not even false. Whereas if you want to check these kind of checks, these should work. Using is operator or in operator, these will work fine. Next, what we are going to do is we are going to import the Titanic data set, take a sample from it, sample of 50 rows, set a random state also. Then into this data set, we are going to insert certain missing values randomly. This is going to be our base data set for the next few lessons. So let's import the data set. I'm also going to store a copy of this data set before I'm going to insert any missing values. So the copy version of this sample is going to be located in titanic_orig.csv. Reset the index and take a copy of df into df_copy. Here I'm going to insert missing values in age, fair, and sex columns. So missing values are inserted. Let's look at the top 10 rows. Here we have missing values at various places. So age, certain missing values are present. There are no missing values in the top 10 rows of sex, but we inserted some missing values here. Then we also inserted missing values in the fair column also. Besides this, in the original data set, the age column contained default missing values also. This was already there in the data set. Now, let's also store a copy of this for later use. This is missing data. Now, what we are going to do is I'm going to see how to check for missing values in this data set. To check for missing values, you can use this method df.isNull. On running this, wherever there are missing values, it will have trues present. These are all the missing observations. The opposite of isNull is not null. So wherever it is not missing, those observations will be true. So now what I want to do is, I want to remove those observations where from the age column, if the age column is missing, then I don't want to include the entire row itself. How would you do that? You need to create a Boolean mask for this, and that Boolean mask is df_age. From this, extract all non-null items. Alright, so this is the Boolean mask. Just pass it inside df, you will get the required rows. So none of the rows in age will contain missing values. Now you can add more conditions to this. So here we are putting a condition where either age or fair should not be null. If either of these two are null, you can include those rows. So even if age is null here, the fair will definitely not be null. We are just getting started with it. Let's do a mini challenge based on this. So the code for this exercise is shown here. The challenge is count the total number of missing values that you get on the data frame after running this specific code. The code is present in this particular URL. You can just go to this URL and get this code and run it. So think about how you would solve it. The solution is very simple. What you need to do is, let me run this code. Using .isNa, this is going to give you a Boolean where if the value is missing, it is going to return true. If not, it will be false. So wherever it is true, if you are summing up all the truths, true actually translates to 1 if you are going to convert it to numeric. So doing a sum on this result is going to return you the total number of missing items or missing data in each of these columns in your data set. Then do a further sum on this you will get the total number of missing values, which is 337 in this case.